Oh, so gay. Oh, hello. Welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucent. I'm a music producer and songwriter, and today I'm going to be reacting to 3 AM tracks from Taylor Swift's Midnights Extra Deluxe. More songs. Oh my god, let's go. Okay, first off, thank you so much everybody who's been watching my Taylor Swift Midnights reaction. Honestly, the response has been amazing. I've had some beautiful comments from people. There's a mixed reception on the album, which I can understand because it's not like loads of big bangers, you know? But what I love is that everybody was out in the comments talking about what their favourite songs were, talking about what their theories were, and talking about basically just the love of songwriting and lyrics. And that's what I love about the Taylor Swift community, the Swifties. You Swifties. I'm a Swiftie too. Us Swifties. And so, like, when I heard that she was going to be doing the extra songs, part of me wanted to do all of it on Friday, but oh my god, it was enough work just trying to get that one video up in the same day. So I thought, you know, I'll save it for the next week. We can have a whole week of beautiful Midnight's madness. And also, like, the base album is a concept in its own, and I want to kind of appreciate her artistic vision for it. And actually, as a 13-piece album, I thought it worked really, really well. And so I appreciate that she's done it in this way, to kind of give us this like kind of extra look, almost like a kind of Vaults edition. And I've heard that apparently these are some of the best songs. Yeah, so I'm very excited to listen to it. I can't believe I've managed to hold it back for a weekend. Yeah, but before we get started, if you are new or if you haven't yet subscribed, then make sure to do so. If you want to check out all of my content early, or if you want to check it out unedited, you can do that on Patreon. So the unedited version basically means that you can watch my whole reaction with the full song, because obviously I have to chop up the song a little bit for the YouTube copyright algorithm, which is always a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, if you want a full unedited and you want to see me listen to the entire song the whole way through, then you can watch my uncut versions. You can also request songs too if you fancy. And the link's in the description for Patreon. Yeah, let's jump into it. I'm very excited. I gave my blood, sweat and time for this. Without any further ado, let's do this. This is song number 1 from the 3 AM versions. This is song number 14. This is The Great War. Oh, I love the rhythm. We've got a fight going on of some kind. Oh. It's about a fight, maybe? I love the kind of military rhythm of it. Like, that's quite clever. I love this like picture of like, you're the hand that I reached for throughout this like period of war, of like difficulty. It's very romantic. Diesel is desire, you were playing with fire. Oh yeah, Diesel is desire, you were playing with fire. Amazing. So I justified it, all that bloodshed. I really like this. I love a Taylor Swift song that has like a kind of soft vocal but a good rhythm to it. Not to fight anymore if we survive the Great War. Again, the production is so good. I think like this era is like the best for her music production, you know. Ooh, whatever that low thing is good. Gorgeous. I love those low drums, gives it so much power. Place of poppy in my hair. Oh, gorgeous. I'll never go back to that bloodshed. Oh, this is gorgeous. I'm not sure whether she's writing a love story about two people who fell in love throughout the war, and like they used each other as like a beacon of hope, you know, or whether it's more of a metaphor. Love that. I love that. I love the kind of like, the drums were like a really cool mixture of like your kind of marching band drums, but like layered with like electronic drums. So it was like 2 layers. So you had this like, you know, this bum, which is very much marching band, very much associated with war drums, like, you know, more like British traditional war drums. But then on top of that, you have the electronic drums layered over, so it has this really tight, nice mix of like the vibe of the marching band, but like with like really, really tight like poppy drums. It's really cool. The production on this album is just insane. I love it. Yeah, and I love the story. It's like super romantic. I love this idea of like two people who fell in love and are using each other, like their love is like a beacon of hope. Like, you know, you're the hand that I reached for throughout the Great War, and we said that we'd be together if we survived the war. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not sure whether it's like a literal story. I'll look into the lyrics in a sec. Gorgeous. And also the little mention of the poppy in the hair, I thought was like very, very good. I mean, I'm not sure like the current generation, if you're up on your World War II history, World War One history, the poppies signify the people who lost their lives. Like, I don't know about in America, but in the UK we have Poppy Day, which is the 11th of November, where everybody wears a poppy and we have a minute's silence. And so the poppies have like a really important symbolism, especially for British people. Like, it's a really, really big thing. It's like a symbol of remembrance. Yeah, and for her to like put a little hint of it in there, I think was really beautiful, and it really takes me to that place, you know. My knuckles were bruised like violets, sucker punching walls, cursed you as I sleep talked, spineless in my tomb of silence, tore your banners down, took the battleground. So the violets, that's another flower reference. And maybe it was ego swinging, maybe it was her, flashes of the battle coming back to me in a blur. Always remember, the tears on the letter. I vow not to cry anymore if we survive the Great War. So I guess like the Great War is a metaphor for like maybe a big rift, like a big fight in a relationship where you're like, oh, I'm not sure whether we can actually get past this fight and actually get back into the relationship and how it was. Even though we vowed to love each other no matter what, I'm not sure whether we can actually survive the Great War. But I think there's hope in there, isn't there? But there's a bit of dejection, isn't there? You know, like, you drew up some good faith treaties, I drew curtains closed, drank my poison all alone. You said I have to trust more freely, but diesel is desire. You were playing with fire. That's a in terms of like singular lyrics, Taylor can just absolutely, I mean, obviously she can tell a full story as well, but like just the individual lines sometimes are just so astonishingly beautiful. Diesel is desire, you were playing with fire. Gorgeous. And maybe it's the past that's talking, screaming from a crypt, telling me to punish you for things you never did, so I justified it. She's looking at the way in which she dealt with this big fight and thinking, actually, no, she didn't really. She pulled the curtains closed, she drank her poison alone, even though the other person was like trying to come up with peace treaties and trying to kind of like work it out. She was being very stubborn, and she's kind of alluding to the fact that maybe she's got some deep set trust issues, and maybe that's the reason why she is still so stubborn about it. Turned into something bigger somewhere in the haze. I got a sense, the lavender haze, got a sense I've been betrayed. You looked up at me with honour and truth, broken and blue, so I called off the truce. That was the night I nearly lost you. I really thought I'd lost you. We can't plant a memory garden, say a solemn prayer, place a poppy in my hair. There's no morning glory, it was war, it wasn't fair, and we will never go back to that bloodshed crimson closer. The worst was over. My hand was the one you reached for throughout the Great War. Always remember we're burnt for the better. I vow I will always be yours because we survived the Great War. So there's been this huge fight. She's been really, really stubborn, and she's looking down at him and thinking, like, he's on the ground, broken and blue, like battered, still there trying to say, like, I still want this peace. And she decides, okay, fine, I need to like let my guard down. I need to trust this person. And I think that like the overall message of the song is that she's not, is that thing of remembrance, you know, with the poppy. The poppy symbolises remembrance, and for her, putting the poppy in her hair is remembering what they went through as a couple so that they learn from the experience. And yeah, what was there was another lyric that we're burnt for the better. It's that idea that like we've gone through something and we've learned something from it, and actually our relationship is stronger because of this big fight. Oh, amazing. Amazing. I love the detail of the poppy. That is so beautiful, and maybe that was what inspired the song. Like, it seems like you know, the poppy being a symbol of remembrance. Maybe that was why she kind of thought, you know, it's important to like remember the bad things that happened to us because they taught us something incredible. Love it so much, so many levels. Okay, let's go into the next one. This is Bigger Than the Whole Sky.
No words, salt stream out my eyes and into my ears.
Oh my god, this is gorgeous. Oh, is this the coulda, woulda, shoulda song that everyone's talking about? This is gorgeous. The production is so beautiful because it's so big and ambient, but then you have like the bite of the acoustic guitar strings like coming through. So nice.
Did some force take you because I didn't pray?
Wow.
Has turned into ashes.
Wow, this is really sad.
All over, it's not
Gorgeous. Oh, the guitar. She's letting go of something, isn't she? Something that was really big and important to her. Even though it was just a short time, it was really important to me. It made such a big difference. Now I have to let go. I love that. That's a gorgeous lyric.
You were bigger than
the whole sky. Oh,
you were more than just a short time.
it's so beautiful.
Lot to pine about.
This is so good.
What should have been you.
Oh my god. You said that was good. I love that. That is so wonderful on so many levels. Like, I love how, like, there's just so much about it. Like, the lyrics of it, like this idea of saying goodbye to somebody who meant like such a big, they were so big in your life, they were bigger than the entire sky. Isn't it just so gorgeous? And I need to stop pining over you. I need to stop thinking what could have been, what could have happened, what should have happened, what would have happened, because actually I have to just say goodbye. I need to let it go. I think we've all been in that place, you know, where you kind of have certain expectations over maybe a relationship or something, but like it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, and you kind of have to like learn to just draw a line under it, you know. I think like the thing that really felt so unique about that song was the way that it kind of built up this like really big pad that kind of made it this kind of really ambient, kind of dreamy thing, as if it felt like it was up in the clouds, you know, up in the sky. But then to have the acoustic guitar like just like kind of really subtly giving that texture was so beautiful, and it's not anything I've ever really heard before, and it's such a lovely kind of juxtaposition between like something quite electronic and quite full and something very, very down to earth. I think it really does. It feels like it's up in the sky but down to earth at the same time. Oh, so gorgeous. And that bit where like obviously like it fills up all the lower bits of the frequency spectrum for most of the song, and then there's just that one section before the second chorus where that goes away and you can really feel its absence, and so having that little bit of an acoustic guitar in there is just really brings attention to that, and it's like so effective, so simple but so effective, and like it's not like over produced, it's just a really good idea that's like very concisely represented and very like well done. Like everybody was like, you're gonna love coulda, woulda, shoulda. Oh wait, no, that's a different song. Okay, well anyway, I love Bigger Than the Whole Sky, even though it's not would've, could've, should've, because that's a different song. Okay, this is confusing. I was like, why is everyone calling it woulda, coulda, shoulda when it's like called Bigger Than the Whole Sky? But oh my god. Anyway, let's look at the lyrics. What if the 7am songs are like the best songs of the album? Because both these songs have been really, really great. No words appear before me in the aftermath. Salt streams out my eyes and into my ears. Every single thing I touch becomes sick with sadness because it's all over now. So she's like really going through it all out to sea. Like this idea of salt water, and like the salt water, the tears coming out of her eyes and straight into her ears. It's almost like she's like feeding off her own sadness. And I think that's kind of the idea of pining, is actually very clever about it going out of your eyes and into your ears. It's self-indulgent, isn't it? And I've got a lot to pine about. I've got a lot to live without. I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been, should have been you. Did some bird flap its wing over in Asia? Did some force take the butterfly effect? Did some force take you because I didn't pray? Did every single thing to come has turned to ashes because it's all over? It's not meant to be. So I'll say the words I don't believe. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You were bigger than the whole sky. Oh, you were more than just a short time, and I've got a lot to pine about. I've got a lot to live without. I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been, what should have been you. Gorgeous. It's really sad. There's some kind of relationship with somebody and they haven't been able to figure it out in the aftermath of this. Like, I have nothing else to say. Like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do to actually bring back what we once had, what could have happened, what should have happened, because it's over, and I just need to be able to draw under it and say goodbye. You are bigger than the whole sky. Oh my god. Okay, let's go on to song number 3. This is Paris. Is this the 1975 crossover? This is like, this part of the album feels much more dreamlike. Ooh. Ugh.
2003 unbearable. Did you see the drew a map on your bedroom ceiling? No, I didn't see the news. Tumble down, pretend Alice cheap wine, make believe it's champagne. We were in Paris.
Oh, beautiful. The production actually does have a bit of a 1975 vibe to it, just saying. Romantic.
Door and on my page and on the whole world, romance is not there. Levitate above all the messes made.
Oh, this is so great. I love this. This is a perfect balance between rhythm and ambience. It's kind of crazy how these songs didn't make the original album, but I guess it's because they don't necessarily fit the concept as well. They're much kind of further into the dream. I guess that's why it felt like 3 a.m. because it's like that kind of dreaminess that is far deeper into the night, you know? Wow. She almost sounds a bit Carly Rae in this song, doesn't she?
We drew a map on your bedroom ceiling in an alleyway, drinking champagne.
Maybe it's like a fantasy that's not real.
Love, we were in Paris.
Gorgeous. Oh, she's gonna end it quietly. Oh god, I love that. Like we were in Paris, but we were somewhere else. Maybe the idea of the fantasy being better than the reality, kind of Supercut vibes. You know, the song Supercut by Lorde, produced by Jack Antonoff, was about like looking back at a relationship and kind of only seeing the good things. And that's kind of what the fantasy of Paris is, I think, in this song is this idea that like it's the romanticism and it's like almost like the fantasy of the romanticism being like more what she remembers than the actual reality of it, you know? I'll look into the lyrics in a sec, but let's talk about the production and the rhythm of the melody. I think that was what really, really sold the song for me, was that like it had this kind of very ambient intro. Actually, it seems like every song this so far has this kind of ambient feel, and by that I mean like big reverbs and kind of like a wash of production. And that's why I'm kind of thinking that's why it's the 3 a.m. because it's, you know, like it feels much more dreamlike. And this one kind of has the ambient feel and breaks through it with a really cool rhythm. And then the melody, which is like actually quite choppy and quite fast, which is such a cool, I love this, like this theme of like ambience, but something cutting through the ambience. Because I think like ambient music is great, like listen to whale singing all night, but like when it comes to pop, I love being able to harness ambience and then have something that pushes through and breaks through it to tie it down. It really kind of is a satisfying kind of juxtaposition. Good words. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Basically, let's look at the lyrics. Your ex-friend's sister met someone at a club and he kissed her. Random. Turns out it was the guy that you hooked up with ages ago, some wannabe Z-lister, and all the outfits were terrible. 2003, unbearable. Did you see the photos? No, I didn't, but thanks though. Seems like it's referencing some specific party or event. I'm so in love that I might stop breathing. Drew a map on your bedroom ceiling. Oh my god. No, I didn't see the news because we were somewhere else. Stumbled down pretend alleyways, cheap wine, make believe it's champagne. I was taken by the view like we were in Paris. Like we were somewhere else. Like we were in Paris. We were somewhere else. Could be like a lockdown dreaming thing, like dreaming of being abroad. Taylor's like attitude to romance is very whimsical and very kind of emotionally raw and very dreamlike and very optimistic. And I think that maybe this particular person that she's singing about, she was maybe projecting her want and her need for that kind of romance onto something that maybe wasn't actually that. You know, she's very much taking control of this because she's like, I'm drawing the maps on your bedroom ceiling and, you know, we're stumbling down pretend alleyways. It's like this idea that she's like fantasizing about what and pretending that her relationship is this thing in Paris, but they're not actually in Tennessee. I don't know. Romance is not dead if you keep it just yours. Levitate above the messes made, sit quiet by my side in the shade, and not the kind that's thrown. I mean the kind under where the tree has grown. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Or maybe it's like a fantasy relationship, a fantasy world for them to block out the outside world or the real world. Maybe that's more what the focus is. I want to brainwash you into loving me forever. I want to transport you to somewhere the culture's clever. Confess my truth in swooping, sloping, cursive letters. Let only the flashing lights be the tower at midnight. Oh, the Eiffel Tower. And maybe it's a little bit of like an I Know Places type thing, you know, where she's like saying we can hide away from the real world, and we can live in our fantasy world of ultimate romance. Let's go on to the next one. This is High Infidelity. Not going to be quite as... it's going to be a little bit less chill, I think.
Lock broken, slur spoken. I didn't know you were keeping count. You said I was freeloading.
Wow. Ooh, gorgeous. Drums, sir.
Dancing around it. Your picket fences sharp as knives.
Your picket fences sharp as knives.
Where I was April 29th.
Yes.
To chart the constellations in his eyes.
Wow.
Dragged my feet right down the aisle.
Dragged my feet down the aisle.
Seemed like the right thing at the time. There's many different ways that you can kill the one you love. Never loving them enough.
Oh my god.
Do you really wanna know? Do I really have to tell you how he brought me back to life? How put on your records and regret me dancing around it. Picket fences sharp as knives.
I'm not sure what this one's about yet. Again, gorgeous production. I think I am just a fan of Jack Antonoff's production style. Just that is just stunning. God. Maybe it's not two people who are stuck in a bit of a loveless marriage. The kind of like mundane, everyday stuff is like killing each other, you know? Never heard her do a little interlude like this before.
I didn't know you were keeping count.
Yeah.
But oh, you were keeping count.
Wow. That's like reminding me of like Exile, you know, in terms of the story. Like to me, it feels as if like she's talking about two people who are kind of in a marriage, like the white picket fences and stuff like that, and like being dragged down the aisle and stuff like that. And that line, there's many ways to kill the one you love, but the slowest way is like not loving them enough. And so it feels as if maybe it's two people who are trapped in a loveless marriage, like slowly killing each other with like putting headphones on and ignoring them. And it all kind of comes out in this kind of argument, and it's like, oh wait, we've been grinding each other down for a long time. I'm not sure how it would relate to Taylor, but I mean, you know, it might be a folklore Evermore vibe of writing a story, you know. But I'll look at the lyrics in a sec. Again, gorgeous production, really like, it is really simple ideas that are executed with such a clarity of vision. I think that's something like as a producer I'm trying to learn, is that like sometimes I have so many ideas, it's really difficult to like actually just simplify it and like pin down which one is going to tell your story the best, and you kind of then get a bit of an attachment to all these different ideas and your songs end up becoming overblown. And that's something that like is not on these songs at all. It's very clear cut, it's very clear vision. Let's have a look at the lyrics. Infidelity is literally means like a betrayal, doesn't it? Like, oh, by the way, have you seen my jade green? Hello. Lock broken, slur spoken, wound open, game token. I didn't know you were keeping count. Rain soaken, blind hoping. You said I was freeloading. I didn't know you were keeping count. So that kind of chorus seems to be a bit of a the fight, you know. High Infidelity, put your records on and regret me. I bent the truth too far tonight. I was dancing around it. There's this idea that like they're not actually getting to the point. They're like dancing around the issue and kind of not actually solving anything. And like this person is like putting on their music and just ignoring her. Put on your headphones and burn my city. Your picket fence is sharp as knives. I was dancing around it. Do you really want to know where I was April 29th? Do I really have to chart the constellations in your eyes? So obviously she did something on April 29th, maybe she cheated, and charting the constellations in your eyes, it's like putting two and two together. Like I can see what you're thinking, I can see it in your eyes, and like, do I have to put it all together for you? It's kind of this idea, you know, yes, I did what you're, but I'm not going to say it. You know, so much in what is like unsaid. Storm coming, good husband, bad omen. Dragged my feet right down the aisle at the house, lonely, good money. I'd pay if you just know me. Seemed like the right thing at the time. So this person is like married this person, even though it wasn't actually the right thing for them. And slowly it's eaten away at this other person, and they're in a loveless marriage now. And she's obviously cheated. There's so many different ways you can kill the one you love. The slowest way is never loving them enough. Yeah. She was kind of like going along doing her own thing, thinking that he wasn't noticing it, didn't actually affect him. But suddenly at this point where they've actually, you know, the lock's broken, like doors have been slammed, slurs are spoken, they're drunk, the wound is open, they're fighting. She's realised at that point that he has actually been like noticing all these things. Gorgeous lyric. Incredible lyric. Let's go on to the next one. This is Glitch. Glitchy.
We were supposed to be just friends.
Ooh, love the production. Oh my god.
Depending on
it sounds like put like a record scratch thing through a filter.
I must be counterfeit. There's been a glitch to sweat you out.
Cool. Oh, I'm obsessed with the production of this song. Oh my god.
190 days of our love blackout.
Oh my god, the rhythm as well. Like, Let's glitch it out.
There's been a glitch.
Ooh. Bit of a hip hop cadence there. Cool.
I'd go back to wanting dudes who give nothing, and that's romance.
Wow.
Let's dance.
Oh, fucking hell. I thought it was over.
There's been a
glitch. Very cool. Clever. I love the cleverness in the production there. Like it really read as glitch in so many different ways. Like not only the crackly, it's not like, you know, like a record crackle, but like put through some sort of like electronic kind of like crystallizing kind of electronic thing, which was a really cool effect. But also the way in which the rhythm kind of started like tripping over itself and stuff, and then like where it all kind of went that's very, you know, we're restarting, we're rebooting the computer, try and fix this glitch. Very, very cool. I love all those kind of different layers. It's super creative production. Let's look at the lyrics. I'm not really sure what that one was about, actually. We were supposed to be just friends. You don't live in my part of town, but maybe I'll see you out some weekend, depending on what kind of mood and situationship I'm in. I think there's been a glitch. 5 seconds later, I'm fastening myself to you with a stitch. And I'm not even sorry, nights are so starry. Blood moonlit, it must be counterfeit. I think there's been a glitch. She's obviously fallen in love with somebody who she thought was going to be a friend, who she didn't expect it to happen. So, gay. And she's kind of like, wait, this wasn't supposed to happen. There must be some sort of glitch in the Matrix. But she's going with it. You know, there's positivity there. I was supposed to sweat you out in search of glorious happenings of happenstance on someone else's playground, but it's been 2,190 days of our love blackout. The system's breaking down. So maybe like she's still obsessed with this person even though it's not actually going on. I go back to wanting dudes. Oh my god, so maybe okay, this can be read as bisexual. And actually like bi panic. Like, okay, I'm not saying this is necessarily what it's about, but it could be read that way, certainly. And like, if you think about like people who are bisexual, it's a very common thing that like, because you have feelings for both sexes, suddenly when feelings for an opposite sex comes up, a lot of people do think, oh no, it's just that one time, this is just a bit of a glitch. And it's that idea of like internal bi-erasure, kind of not actually admitting to yourself that you can have like feelings for both men and women. And so this could easily be read as like, this is you know, a glitch in what I thought was my straightness, you know? Yeah. And this line, I thought it was a brief interruption, a slight malfunction. I go back to wanting dudes who give nothing. Dudes, specifically. I thought we had no chance, and that's romance. Let's dance. Yeah. So that's quite cool, isn't it? This could be something that that Taylor is exploring through song in terms of her own sexuality. But either way, I really like that it represents that story for people, and actually there's not that many songs that do kind of represent that feeling, Gorgeous. Okay, how long have I got left on the timer? Yeah, that's fine. Let's go on to the next song. It's the penultimate song. This is the one that everybody wanted me to listen to, so we'll see how it goes. This is Would've, Could've, Should've, Went and Changed My Mind, I Wonder. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Love the vocal manipulations. Love this guitar.
If you would've blinked, then I would've looked away at the first glance.
Oh, gorgeous. Oh.
On a promising, if I was a child, did it matter? If you got to
wow.
Would've, could've, should've, would've stayed on.
Wow.
19.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, okay. This is about John Mayer, isn't it?
I wish you left me wondering.
Wow. Oh god.
If I never blushed, then they could've.
Wow. So she's still kind of harboring this mistake for her that she made at that age.
Made me feel important. To erase us all.
Wow. She still really looks at him as if he's preying on her, He was preying on her. This definitely has a bit more of a country vibe to it, isn't it? I think she's purposely taken that debut or Fearless energy and put it into this,
I wish you left me wondering.
Wow. I regret you all the time. Oh my god.
I keep on waiting for a sign.
Wow.
It won't this die.
This is a brilliant song. Wow. Oh. This is powerful. Wow. I think something that I love about this album is that she is showing us what's going on in her head, And maybe this is her trying to exercise those feelings through a song, Wow. Wow. And this idea of her being up in the middle of the night, thinking about these traumatic experiences, Wow. Oh my god. I love that. That was a beautiful song. I really like that song. There's a lot to unpack though. Shit. There's a specific reference to her being 19, which is the age that she was in Dear John, which is literally about John Mayer and her relationship with John Mayer. Don't you think 19 is too young to be messed with? And so I feel like she's revealing to us that she still thinks about it, and I think she still has kind of a traumatic kind of response to what happened, and actually maybe she was too young and she kind of went along with him because she felt like he made her feel good and she was naive and he kind of went with it when maybe he really shouldn't have. She's still got these stained glass windows in her mind, and these the memories are keeping her up at night, and this is the where it comes back to the concept of midnights and how it's all the things that they're still going on inside her head and keeping her up in the middle of the night. Yeah, and this relationship obviously had much more of a long-lasting effect than maybe any of us really realised. And she still has a lot of anxiety and a lot of trauma to kind of work through. And I'm hoping that in writing this song, she is working through that trauma. It's very difficult because obviously she knows that everyone's going to pin that, bring it together. And because she's so big, it's all going to kind of come back to him again. And it's I don't know, it's very, yeah, but in terms of her maybe needing to get it out there, I can understand why she did it. The song though, I love the build up of it. It's kind of a kind of subtle pace building thing where it's it feels like this anxiety, this like ding, 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 it's all kind of like building up, and it's like this feeling is kind of going like this, and it's like you're in the middle of the night and you just going round and round and round, around your head, and it's just, you can't, it's like you're fixating on this thing that happened years and years and years ago, but it's still getting to you, and it's still, and you feel like you can't escape it. And the pace of the music really, really kind of built up with that. And I think production-wise, it was a deliberate callback to like the kind of Fearless era, because just because of like the guitar that was used was quite a kind of like loose, kind of bassy, like not bassy, but like kind of kind of like low, kind of like loose guitar, gives a bit more of a country feel, and the drums as well kind of give it that more of like that kind of era. And I think that was a purposeful decision to kind of link it back to the past, you know, and to what her music used to sound like. It still sounds like it fits part of the album, but it's like a little nod to that era, you know, sonically. Let's have a look at the lyrics. If you would have blinked, then I would have looked away at the first glance. If you tasted poison, you could have spit me out at the first chance. So it's kind of saying, you know, if you knew that this wasn't actually good, then you shouldn't have gone along with it. And actually, like, he was quite a lot older than her, so it's like she's saying that he should have drawn a line under it and been like, no, you're too young, you know. And if I was some paint, did it splatter on a promising grown man? Jeez. If I was a child, did it matter if you got to wash your hands? Oh my God, like he's washing his hands of the whole situation. He got to wash his hands of the whole situation. Ugh. All I used to do was pray, would have, could have, should have, if you've never looked my way. So she's kind of wishing that it hadn't happened. I would have stayed on my knees. That's quite a, you know, a bit of a, I mean, it's a religious thing, but also a sexual thing, isn't it? And I damn sure never would have danced with the devil at 19. And the God's honest truth is that the pain was heaven. And now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts. Memory feel like weapons. And now that I know, I wish you'd left me wondering. Yeah. So she's actually saying, I wish I hadn't actually gone with you. I wish I hadn't actually done any of that, because it's now left such big kind of trust issues with me. The ghosts, you know, that the memories feel like weapons. And now she's still dealing with the trauma of that situation. The religious iconography is quite dark and quite interesting, you know, on my knees, dancing with the devil, God's truth, you know, ghosts and exorcisms and things, you know, all those kinds of things. It's quite somber, it's quite dramatic. If you never touched me, I would have gone along with the righteous. If I never blushed, then they could have never whispered about this. And if you never saved me from boredom, I could have gone on as I was, but Lord, you made me feel important, and then you tried to erase us. Or you're my crisis of faith, would have, could have, should have, if I'd only played it safe. So she's using this, like, you know, all this like religious words to kind of talk about like straying from the righteous path, you know, doing something that she shouldn't have done. And she's looking back and just wishing that she would have, could have, and should have done something else and not done it, because it's now affected her. I think it's the lyrics are so, all the little nods to religion and Christianity are very, very clever. God rest my soul, I miss her, I used to be, the tomb won't close, stained glass windows in my mind. You know, there's so many levels to that. I think it's a genius lyric. I regret you all the time, I can't let it go, I fight with you in my sleep, the wound won't close, I keep waiting for a sign, I regret you all the time. If clarity's in death, then why won't this die? Years of tearing down our banners, you and I, living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts. Give me back my girlhood, it was mine first. Oh my God. Fucking hell. So it's like her naivety as a young girl was like ruined, and she feels like she is still carrying that with her. I don't know how much of her naivety was ruined by him. I'm sure like there's a part of that, obviously, but also by the industry too. And maybe that's kind of all the feelings that she's expressing through this, but focusing it on him, you know. Wow. That's a brilliant song, like incredibly written. I adore the lyrics and I adore all the little hidden metaphors and references to religion. It really kind of gives it this sense of drama and sense of gravitas, doesn't it? Because it really links to the idea of morality, and she's kind of utilizing that feeling of morality to kind of say what you did maybe wasn't moral, and it kind of ruined me in a sense, like there's something still in me that feels broken because of it. And it's very, as a kind of song ignoring like who it might be about, I think that is one of the best she's written. It's wonderful. It's incredible. Let's go on to the final song. This has been a ride. This is Dear Reader. Dear Reader. Gorgeous piano. Love this little snare thing. Nice.
If you're already in one, pick somewhere and just run.
Wow, okay.
Desert all your past.
So she's singing to us, I think.
That means you did it right.
Right. Reinvention, letting go of your demons.
Someone who's falling apart.
Gorgeous production. Interesting auto-tuney vibes.
Snap when you have to.
This feels like what she's learnt from this process, you know?
Don't have to answer just 'cause they asked you. Is your secret?
Yeah. Wow. I love this little piano bit. The piano's so intimate and so like real in the room.
Falling apart. So I wander through these nights, desperate prayers of a cursed man's been. You wouldn't take my word for it if you knew who was talking. Not a home all alone 'cause nobody's there. When you lose, when you're playing solitaire.
Playing on your own, huh? One side of the story. Love the vocal playing stuff there. This is very 1975-y, just saying. Maybe Jack was working with the 1975 at the same time. Cool. God, I adore the production on that. I love experimental electronic production and I love Taylor Swift. So, you know, this is basically my dream project. All 20 of these songs have fulfilled that for me and I am so happy. And I think I'm going to look back at this era and really think that's the moment when Taylor made music for me, you know? I adore it. And these 7 songs have been fantastic. Like, I don't know whether like you could even say that they're better than the original album. Some of them, definitely. Do you know what I mean? But I can understand why they weren't necessarily on the first album because they all felt much more like dreamlike, you know? And I think that had you actually filled the original album with all these other dreamlike songs, it would have become like a bit too much of a wash, you know? Yeah, so I appreciate what they did. That one, I'm not sure what that was about. It seems to be that she's singing to the audience. It seems to be she's singing a lot about like keeping things close to your chest, the cards, the solitaire, playing on your own, all those kinds of things, you know? Not giving everything away, not giving all your power to other people by letting them know everything about you, I think. Dear reader, if it feels like a trap, you're already in one. Dear reader, get out your map, pick somewhere and just run. Burn all the files, desert all your past lives, and if you don't recognise yourself, that means you did it right. So it feels as if she's looking back at the process of the album and realising that, like, in writing all of these songs, of all the things that have kept her up in the middle of the night, she is exercising those feelings. She's getting them out into the world. She's burning all the files. She's learning. She's trying to work through things. And in so, she's reinventing herself. Never take advice from someone who's falling apart. Never take advice from someone who's falling apart. You should find another. Bend when you can, slap when you have to. You don't have to answer just because they asked you. So yeah, it really does feel like she's imparting her advice in this song. Wonder through these nights I prefer hiding in plain sight. My fourth trick in my hand, these desperate prayers of the cursed man spilling out to you for free. But darling, darling, please, you wouldn't take my word for it if you knew who I was talking. So don't get drunk and don't give it away to another person who's broken. Like, it's not going to help. You should find another guiding light while I shine so bright. Maybe she's kind of warning people to actually not take her advice in a way. You know, maybe you shouldn't put so much trust in what I'm saying. I'm not sure. Interesting. Of course, let me know what you think about all these songs and what they mean. So these songs overall, I think they're absolutely wonderful. The production is really a next level up, and I really love that. Like, I feel like the production on these 7 songs, for me, are like the best of the album. Like, really, really nicely thought out ideas, ambient stuff that's pinned down by stuff that's, you know, a little bit more real, which is just the absolute, if you know, yeah, just that's what I talk about when I love about what I love about music production is this, like, in between like electronic ambient dream world and the real, you know. Pinpoint, love it. That's what I love. That's the kind of music I love to make, you know. And I was listening to it thinking, wow, this is what I want my stuff to sound like, you know. Yeah, amazing. Lyricism, fucking incredible. Some of the best stuff on the album again. Really just stunning lyrics, like, and so many layers in so many of the songs as well. Like, brilliantly done, including like the stories and the individual lyrics, but also like different metaphors that run throughout the entire song, like in the one with the religion stuff. Yeah, some of the best songs from the era hidden on this extra 3am version. Of course, I should think nothing less after hearing Red Taylor's version. Forever winter if you go. Really stunning. And I love this idea that like these songs were a lot more ambient, a lot more dreamlike, and it was represented by them being at the 3am. You know, that's part of the concept. The midnights were the things that were keeping up her in the middle of the night, and these are the things that were still keeping her up at 3am, and therefore have much more of a kind of fantastical dreamlike quality to them. It's really, really nicely thought out. Really, really well done. Gorgeous. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you so much for all for all of your kind words and everything on the Midnight's main reaction. If you haven't checked that out, then you probably should have watched that before you watched this one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I love listening to these new songs. Can't believe I've been without them all weekend. Yeah, and now I need to just learn all the lyrics for Swiftageddon on Friday. Oh my God. Before we go, special shout out to my patrons. Those guys are appearing on the screen right now. They support me through Patreon. They get a whole bunch of extra stuff, and this is one of their perks. So if you want to check out all the extra stuff you can get, the link is on the screen now, including at the moment the uncut versions of my Reputation reaction, this reaction obviously, my Taylor Swift debut album reaction, and my Midnight's reaction. If you want to watch all of those unedited and watch me react to the whole song the whole way through, that is all available on Patreon right now. So click the link on the screen and check out all the details. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you soon for another video. Bye.